Hey, what is up guys? My name is Mihai brought to and welcome back to a brand new video on my channel. Today is a different type of video. I don't really make these types of videos. I usually review a device and tell you guys at the end if it's worth it. However, I'm dedicating this whole video on whether the iPhone 5 is worth it. So the iPhone 5 initially dropped in 2012 running iOS 6.0. And it supports all the iOS updates until 10.3.3. I myself have one running 8.4.1, and the one good thing about it is the fact that you can actually downgrade it to iOS 6. Now, when you downgrade to iOS 6, that does mean you're gonna have to jailbreak it, but oversighting that, it's just pretty cool that you could still jailbreak a device like this. Of course, not many people will be able to pick it up running a older iOS like this. So we're going to be talking of it in the eyes of iOS 10. So this device still has the same design that the iPhone SE and the 5S have. If I take my 5S here, you can see the design is very similar. It's almost identical despite the fact that the camera modules are different. So if we do take a look, the iPhone 5 has chrome rings around the camera and the flash, and it only has one flash. It does not have dual flash. However, if we take a look on the back, it does have the printed Apple logo, and it's not machined like on the new ones. And overall, the experience of having an iPhone like this is actually pretty nostalgic. It just brings you back to the good old days of Steve Jobs. So, not to get it confused with the i5s, the iPhone 5 is actually running lower specs. This is a 32-bit device with a iPhone 6X A6 chip in it, which means you will not get as much performance in games, and obviously you're going to have a lower performance with the iOS. However, these are fairly cheap today. You can pick one up for around 50 bucks if you're lucky. I found mine at 40 and it is perfect. This thing runs great. If you find it on older software and you really don't want anything more than just a phone to call, I suggest not updating, because you could already see there's a little bit of stutter right here when I am actually scrolling down in the notification center. If I take up my 5S here, you'll see it is fine, whereas this one has a little bit of a stutter. I don't know if you guys can see it. And when you're actually switching through apps, you'll have a little bit of stutter sometimes. It's not necessarily buttery smooth. Now, one issue the iPhone 5 did have is the power button. It does not work on this one, and it will not work for some either. And this is very, very, common among iPhone 5 users. And when you buy this phone, be careful to test out everything on it if you do not want to have a faulty power button. Of course, it will break eventually, as some of them are only lucky to keep them in full function. It does have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and it has the lightning port, which means you don't have to worry about asking your friends about an iPhone charger and they not having a 30-pin connector. So moving on, the buttons on the side, once again, same volume switch, similar again. And one thing I love about this design is just the chamfered edges. They give off such a shine, and it's such a gem. The iPhone 5 comes in two colors, slate black and silver white. I don't know if I said those names correct. I'm sorry. It's just Apple messes up with the names so bad. It's either white or black, and the iPhone 5 black is actually black. But one thing that it does suffer is just damage. If we take a look here, mine actually has a little dent here, which will show the actual bare aluminum. But given the fact that this is aluminum already and it has no coating on it, this will not damage. Anything that you scratch on it, it will uncover more aluminum, which is the same color. So if you're going through a more clean and nice looking route, I suggest you pick up the silver model. If not, and you don't care about imperfections and are dying to have a black iPhone, then I suggest you get the black one. App support is great, and iOS 10 on the iPhone 5 of course supports almost every single app in the App Store. and iOS 10 will be supporting apps for 1 year, as I've seen in the past, and after 1 year it will slowly diminish. But for now, I feel like $40 for a fully fledged Apple iPhone is not too bad. If you don't have the money to buy the 5S or the SE, this is a great route to go. This comes in 16, 32, and 64 gigabytes. Mine is a 16 gigabyte model, but I suggest you get a 32 and maybe a 64 gigabyte model, as I downloaded music on mine, and if you download music, it will fill up fast. The camera is standard, and it does have features like time-lapse, but you will not have slow-mo, as this is a camera that does not support 120 FPS. And it is great, and once again, I just like to say it's great to run the old iOS on this. If you want to downgrade, you can. And in the end, this is a great phone. For $40, I totally think it's worth it. If you want a phone that does more like panoramic HDR photos with, 3D lighting, and portrait lighting, whatever, this is not the phone for you. This is the bare essential when it comes to iPhones, and honestly, this is great. The iPhone 4S is way too old, and this one still holds up. All the cases for the 5S and SE will work, so Apple still supports those cases, and honestly, in the end, this is a great phone. Cheap to fix, cheap to buy. And yeah, guys, the verdict: is the iPhone 5 worth it? Yes. For basic users who just want a phone that, gets them through the day, it is perfect. If you are not nitpicky about it, it will serve the purpose it is meant to have: an iPhone, a phone that calls and connects with social media. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you did enjoy, please be sure to give it one fat juicy like, and please subscribe and turn on the bell icon for more videos like this. If you guys want a device reviewed, tell me about it, alright? And if I don't have it, then I'll try to buy it for you guys. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.